Hello guys, Chris here and welcome back to another video. With this one, my friends, I'm gonna be testing a GeForce GTX 1050 Ti 4GB GPU in Man Remastered. This one is the Asus Strix version of the card. It comes already overclocked out of the box and I pushed it a little bit further here. As you can see, I'm not pushing the power limits though, so these should be pretty achievable overclocks for all 1050 Ti's. You can also see here in MSI Afterburner that we're running it with the latest Nvidia drivers, 516.94 at the time of recording this video, and these are optimized for Man Remastered. Over in TechPowerUp's GPU-Z, you can check out all of the GPU specs. Again, it's a 4GB GDDR5 GPU with 768 CUDA cores, released back in 2016. And over on the left, we're pairing it with a Ryzen 7 5700G and 16GB of RAM to avoid CPU bottlenecks. Let's get into it, shall we? Okay, this is not very promising. We're getting 30 FPS in the menu with 99% GPU usage. We're starting this off at 1080p resolution using TAA anti-aliasing. This makes a huge difference, by the way. I strongly recommend you to enable it. And we're using the high settings preset at the moment, but we're probably gonna need to either lower it or use some FSR 2.0 to improve our frames. At least going by what's happening in the menu. Oh, wait a second. No, this is way better. Okay, inside of the game, it is so playable. Damn. All right, so okay, never mind. Over here in this area, it is very intensive because you all know at this point vegetation and trees and foliage is always very, very intensive in games. So it is dropping from 30 frames per second, unfortunately. But the fact that this is a 1050 Ti running this game at around 30 FPS, yes, with a few drops, but it's around 30 FPS on average anyways, is fantastic on high settings. Like, I totally did not expect this, actually. What just... I didn't do anything. I'm so sorry. Like, what the heck, dude? But yeah, I probably wouldn't really play like this with the 1050 Ti just because it drops below 30 frames per second quite often. But it's very impressive for what it is, you know? It's just... I'm speechless a little bit here. That's great. All right, let's go over here and enable some FSR 2.0. Not on ultra performance, please. On quality. What a massive difference this makes. Holy, that is incredible. For some reason with the 1030 and like the 2060, I didn't really see a big difference enabling FSR 2.0 or DLSS on the 2060. But here, this is amazing. Wow. It makes it so that it doesn't drop into the 20s anymore, guys. That's very, very good. We gotta go to that huge park once again to see like worst case scenario for the GPU to handle. And as usual, FSR 2.0 is looking awesome, almost like native 1080p resolution. I can notice that it's not really native, only around Spider-Man, because sometimes when he's moving around really fast, you can see a little bit of pixelation there, which looks bad, honestly. But yeah, it's just a little trade-off. I would actually take it. If you want to play on high settings, this is the way to go. FSR 2.0 will be a lifesaver, basically. Okay, I am lost. I need to go see the city from above. Okay, there's the park right there. Ooh, dropping into the 30s once again. Lower 30s at times. Of course, seeing the city from above is also pretty intensive, but the trees are actually more intensive than that. Lower 30s at times. Not bad by any means, guys. It is enough to put us above 30 frames per second pretty much at all times. 100%. It's great, guys. I'm actually just gonna restart the game to see if FSR 2.0 needs a restart to fully apply, because sometimes you get pretty similar FPS, but other times you get a massive improvement. Over here, we actually saw an improvement, so I don't think it will make a difference, but just to make sure, okay? Well, that is pretty similar. I think we were right here, right? Looking in that direction. It's getting 40 frames per second, pretty much the same thing. So, yeah, the FPS that we got so far were definitely accurate here with FSR 2.0. This is what you can expect from the 1050 Ti. And you know what? Since we're getting only around 30 to 40 frames per second on average, I think you can get by with like even a Ryzen 5 1600 or something like that, which is actually a recommended CPU for this game. So yeah, that should be enough to get 30 plus FPS and not bottleneck a GTX 1050 Ti, at least on the high settings preset. So, yeah, pretty strong results here. I totally did not expect this card to be able to play this game when I first saw it, but, yeah, it is. It is capable, and it is quite nice. Okay, so let's stop it there. I would actually lock the FPS to 30 just to make it a little bit more consistent, because the frame time graph was a little bit all over the place. And let's disable this. And now let's try it out on medium settings. I will restart the game, of course, to make sure that it fully applies everything. All right, let's quickly go through the settings again. 1080p, medium settings preset. This is it. Take a look at all of it. And let's do this. So medium settings. Let's see if it still drops from 30 frames per second. I don't think it will, actually. Yeah, this should give us slightly better FPS than FSR 2.0 quality at 1080p high setting. So if you want to keep that native resolution, this is a pretty good way to do so. Let's see it here, though. Looking at all of the trees from above, 30s. Yeah, it's pretty similar to what we saw at 1080p high with FSR 2.0, right? Not bad by any means. Slightly faster, actually, once again. Maybe the reflections are a little bit more muted and worse looking, especially whenever we come across one of those buildings with tons of glass. Yeah, the reflective surfaces are definitely not as good looking, guys. Some of the buildings were more blue for sure. I mean, whenever... Yeah, look at this. This is definitely way worse than high settings, so I'm really not sure if I would play on medium after seeing some of these reflections here. Look at those buildings right there. It's very, very noticeable in these, in the grassy area or the vegetation area, the park. It wasn't really that noticeable, the difference between high and medium, but here, very, very noticeable, unfortunately. At least so far, I think I would go for high with FSR 2.0 and 1080p res. Reflections look pretty good here in the ground, by the way. Not bad. Getting 30s. Was this guy flying or something? You know what? Let's do this. Yeah, boys!
Hot stuff coming.
we broke the car, didn't we? All right. Oh, there's a rat. That was a huge rat. Did you see it? It's just disappeared. It's a little bit of a shame. Sometimes some props disappear, you know. It's kind of weird. And some NPCs as well. No, the cars can't really bump into you. Okay, interesting. Reflections on the cars. They don't look too bad, honestly. Especially given that we're not using any ray tracing here. It actually looks pretty good. And this is medium settings as well. So sorry, people. So sorry. Alright. Let's go to a very big building, actually. Right there, right there, right there, please. Thank you. Spider bug, come on. Spider bug. Let's go. Let's go. Alright, looking in that direction. Not intensive. Looking around us, pretty good, guys. Again, I just did not expect the 1050 Ti to be so good in this one. Oh, it's dropping very... Oh, it still drops. It still drops from 30 FPS. But it's very minor. It's not gonna happen very often. So yeah, I would still enjoy the game like this, even if it drops here and there, you know. And the good thing about this game is that it doesn't feel laggy. Like there is no input lag or major input lag, at least whenever you are playing below 30 frames per second. So I could even play the game with the 1030 at around 20 frames per second and 15 and stuff, and it felt better than in some other games at like 20, 25, even 30 FPS. But here at medium settings, pretty damn good. Let's enable some FSR 2.0. Here we go, it's on quality, and ooh, we're getting 60s now. Oh, that feels great to move the camera around. All right, guys, FSR 2.0 is just an amazing technology. I love it. Wow. All right, what the hell? We're getting 60 FPS with pretty decent graphics still, and the 1050 Ti. That's just crazy to me. Honestly, guys, what the hell? I thought we'd see these FPS with like an RX 570, which is much stronger than this card, by the way. But no, 1050 Ti is proving to be pretty capable in this one. And the more I play this game and test it out with a ton of GPUs, the more I think the minimum requirements are accurate, at least in terms of the GPU requirements. Still not sure about the CPU because it asks for an i3 4th gen, as I told you, and I just don't see how it's gonna be playable with that, because it uses a ton of CPU here in this 8-core, 16-threaded CPU. But it seems like on medium settings it uses way less CPU, so maybe on very low, for example, it will be playable with the i3. But yeah, look at this. It's amazing now. It's almost 60 FPS on average. Not quite there yet, but I believe it is gonna be possible with the 1050 Ti. Which is crazy to think about. Wow. All right. I'm loving it. Okay, let's stop it there now. 1080p. Let's turn off FSR 4 now and play on the low settings preset. This is it. Okay, so once again, we're kind of seeing medium settings with FSR 2.0 performance. Kind of, maybe slightly lower. At the lower preset, you know, low settings, native 1080p. So now reflections look even worse. There are only like lights or something reflecting off surfaces most of the time. Yeah, wait a second. We still got some reflections here, but they look kind of terrible. Or at least they did there. I can't seem to see them again. I don't know. It looks weird. It just looks weird, the reflections. You should definitely not lick windows if you're playing this on low. Yeah, this building was so reflective, by the way. What is happening? Whoa! That is weird. The movement of the camera angles there. I didn't cut anything there, alright? Anyways, looking at the entire city, 40s, still 100% GPU utilization, so no CPU bottlenecks here, which is great, and what we want ultimately. But now we should definitely go to that other area. I actually thought low settings would get more FPS than this. But hey, overall it still looks very good for low settings, so it's kind of normal that there isn't really that huge of a jump coming from medium, and we still got very low settings. But well, just swinging around the woods, it gets 40s, higher 30s at minimum, basically. And it's good. It's good overall. What if we dive? Can Spider-Man actually swim? Does he not swim faster than this? Are you kidding me? What the hell? You could actually try to swim or something? I know it's faster to jump and do this, but still. Let's see if we can actually get 60 on average like this with FSR 2.0. Alright, here we go. Okay, that's better. Alright, feeling a lot smoother once again. Start counting the frames, still dropping into the 50s. That is to be expected again. But yeah, not bad. It definitely feels smoother. If you want the smoother experience, I guess this is pretty decent. Maybe I wouldn't really go to very low settings, because that starts looking pretty terrible in terms of textures and stuff like that. But yeah, if you're all about frame rate, I guess I will still test it out, of course. But so far, so good. 1050 Ti is definitely capable of playing this game. If all you're here for is to know that, yeah, go buy it. It still looks great. It performs great, even with a 1050 Ti. Oh, these reflections aren't looking that bad. But for example, those on top, like right there, these are terrible. But then these, wow, oh, almost managed to pull that off. These are pretty decent. I don't know, it's very inconsistent basically. Some windows look great, others don't. It's alright though. Low settings again, and it is enough for us to get 60 FPS average or more, as you can see there. At this point I'm kind of lost for words, because I have made a ton of Spider-Man videos. Oh god, why? I just want to be there. Okay, right there. Thank you very much. But yeah, I just gotta say, wow. It's very impressive how this game is optimized. To run like this on a 1050 Ti, even high settings were playable with FSR 2.0 it's amazing. We're starting this at 1080p, no TAA anti-aliasing. I actually disabled that because now we're testing the lowest settings. And by the way, shadows can't be disabled. Okay, let's just go to that building over there. Oh, look in this direction. It's already dropping into the 40s again. I wonder if it's a bandwidth issue or something like that. Is the 1050 Ti showing bandwidth issues like the 1030 is? Not sure about that, because the FPS don't seem to differ all that much. But it could be like the presets or something. Look in that direction. 50s, not bad. And let's go to the huge park once again. 30s again on the lowest. It's pretty much the same thing. Yeah. Oh, what the hell? Look at all of those people walking in a straight line. That is so weird. Is it because of the low settings, or are they doing something here? No. It's just randomly spawned NPCs on a straight line. So not really that random, you know. It still drops into the 40s, flying around here, sort of flying, swinging, I guess. Yeah. Not that impressive, honestly, considering that this is already very low settings. And compared to like medium, it's pretty similar, I think. Oh boy, it's so shimmery as well without that TAA anti-aliasing. Jesus. Still manages to look good. I will say that. It's very low settings, yes, but it's not like PUBG's very low settings, for example, that look horrible. This is still alright, and I think I would have preferred to see even lower graphics. You know, but with more FPS. That would help things like the GT 1030 a lot, for example. So yeah, since we can't really get 60 plus all of the time here with the 1050 Ti, even at the lowest settings, I think you should aim for that 30 plus FPS experience with better visuals, because that's where it's gonna shine the most, literally. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Maybe we should try out like 720p high for the last one of the day, but I think you should stick to 1080p high FSR 2.0 on quality, and that's the best experience. Lock it to 30 FPS, give it a little bit of a bigger OC, I guess, and it should stay above 30 most of the time and have a wonderful, beautiful experience. Here we go now, 1280 by 720 TAA, high settings preset. Oh, so now instead of getting 60 FPS, we're getting 34 looking at the entire city here. Yeah, again, it looks worse than FSR at 1080p did. I just don't really see the point of playing like this, especially if you have a 1080p monitor, you know? Still pretty weird in terms of that frame time graph, and look at all of those reflections, way better. Now, this is a beautiful cathedral right here. I haven't been to this one yet. Looks like Notre Dame. Is it Notre Dame? Probably not, right? We're in the US here in this game. Okay, we're here now. Let's go. Fly, Spidey, fly. Come on, buddy. We can do this. Yes, 30s and 40s. Like we've seen in a lot of settings already. It's pretty much the same thing, but now it's native 720p low settings. So that is it for this video. Thank you very much for watching it. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was informative to you. Let me know if you're picking up this game with the 1050 Ti, and let me know how it's running for you with the CPU that you are utilizing. Is it similar to this? Is it worse because the CPU is a bottleneck? I want to know all of that in the comments down below. Thanks again for watching. Catch you in the next one. Love you all. Bye-bye.